I'm JunkYard Rat. I'm back here in San Francisco, California at Edge Studios. I'm back from my vacation in Chile, and my guest today, all the way from Seattle, is Brooke Larson. How you doing, bro?
It's great. I'm glad I got to show up and chat with you. First time here, so
I know, this is exciting.
yeah,
You were just walking by. Were you trying to get a show, or you were
yeah,
just kicking it here?
yeah. I like hanging out in basements. Random
I
basements.
know. You're lucky because I was on the elevator with like three dancers from the dance school. And I got shy. I didn't ask any of them to be in my show.
Yeah, I always get on the elevator and I feel like way dingy compared to the ballet dancers.
I know they had like accents.
Oh
I'm
yeah, they're
like,
fancy. Yeah.
I know, like I feel weird. Like I'm going downstairs. Like it's weird. Like I want to meet those dancers. I want to get them on my show. I mean, this is like a fancy ballet school out
Yeah,
here,
yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it? So how you been? How's your Halloween weekend? You dressed up already?
Yeah, I had a party over the weekend, or I went to a party over the weekend. It was pretty fun.
What were you dressed up as?
A black cat. It's pretty boring to be honest, but it's fun.
So you and your friend were both
Yeah,
black
yeah,
cats.
yeah. Because she has two black cats. We dressed up as her, Ricky and Stevie. That's their name. So, yeah.
So how do you make yourself look into like a cat?
Honestly, did the cheap thing. I went to Target and bought the furriest shirt that I could find. They got furry shirts there, and then got cat ears and a tail. Like super lazy costume.
It's weird. I heard there was like a big furry convention in Reno this weekend.
Dude, I
I'm
can't compete
not.
with that.
What's going on with the furry? Are you down with the furries? Like, why have a furry convention? Do people can't dress up as a furry in their regular life, or?
I don't know. Like in principle, I'm all for it, but they creep me out to be honest. I don't
Yeah, it
know.
is kind of weird to go all that, you
They got
know.
to be expensive. These things, like these costumes, are like super expensive.
I know. I mean, why be an animal? Why not be like a car or something?
That's interesting.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the furries are. Yeah, it's all weird and.
Yeah. Why is it just animals?
I know.
Or is it basically just cats and dogs? Or
What
like,
kind of animal do you think I would be if I was a
well,
furry?
I mean, a rat is like.
Yeah, I would be a rat. I don't think there's any rats that are furries and
It should
stuff.
be though.
I have a friend on Instagram. He keeps posting things about rats.
Yeah.
I think somebody snitched on him or something. I hate rats. And I put it up every time. He's like, I'm not gonna be on your show if you're a rat. I'm like, rats. I'm a rat. I was born the year of the rat.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, I was born in the
Yeah,
Chinese.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
In fact, the rat is the top of the Chinese food chain.
Oh,
We're in the tippy top because rats have been here since dinosaur time.
oh yeah, and they'll be around way long after humans
We're
too.
gonna, and I'm a water rat on top of it, which is really weird because I didn't know rats could like swim and stuff.
They can swim.
They can swim. I'm a water rat, yeah. But yeah, I spent like 3 weeks in Chile. I actually was born in Santiago. I was born in the
Ah,
capital. So I went down there to visit family and stuff.
oh yeah,
And people were impressed how well I spoke Spanish.
oh yeah, yeah. Do you speak Chilean Spanish or?
Yeah, because I spent like, I came here in 79, but I was 7 years old and I
Mm.
lived in Venezuela for 5 years. So, but I try to tell them like, you never forget your first language. But
Yeah.
I almost said you never forget your first love. Like, I almost said that, but yeah, I was upset. Like, what do you mean you don't realize I speak
Yeah, yeah,
Spanish?
yeah. That's you. That's your.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did spend 6 years in Spanish class. So.
Yeah. Did you do
And
good?
I actually didn't do well at all. I did okay, but I should have done better
Yeah.
because after a while it's like verbs and
Yeah.
nouns.
Yeah. And you have to write it on paper if you're speaking it. Like, what? I have to write this
Yeah.
down for?
And like I don't know what a verb and a noun is in
Yeah.
English. Like how am I, Spanish is even more difficult for me.
Yeah. Sure. Sure.
But yeah, I think my last year I got a D. But it was my only AP class. But the weird thing is I still think about my Spanish classes. My teacher, he would, Mr. Davis, he would play Pink Floyd
Oh, really?
during tests. Like we don't need no
Oh,
education.
really?
He
That's
would,
badass.
yeah, it was. He thought that was funny, and he said he ran into his son when he went to see the movie Pink Floyd
Oh, yeah.
in the
Yeah.
movie theater. Yeah, but I think about the Spanish classes all the time. But yeah, it's like, but yeah, it was pretty fun out there. I got to see my fam. My grandparents they're gone, but I stayed in their apartment.
Oh,
But
yeah. Nice.
they had like two single beds, but they had 8 kids, and I never understood like what's up with the two single beds,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I mean, we
Yeah.
eight kids,
Who are they? Who are they kidding?
you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I think that yeah, it was weird. It's like, and I kept trying to figure out if it was my grandfather that would go to my grandmother's bed, or was the other way
Yeah,
around.
yeah, hard to figure that out,
Yeah,
probably
but I thought I saw my grandfather's ghost yelling at me one night because,
though.
what are you doing in my bed? What are you? That's not how he talks. He talks in Spanish. But
Yeah.
what are you doing in my bed? Yeah, I think there were bed bugs there.
Damn.
I
Have you
because
had them? I had them once before they sucked.
oh really? Because my aunt sprayed Raid,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and it was like I don't know if I preferred bed bugs or the Raid. The Raid was awful. Like just
That's toxic shit.
I don't know, staying in a room full of rape.
Yeah.
It's a third world. I don't think they care about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Funny.
I've-
Dude, what's it like in Santiago? Because didn't they have some like crazy like protest shit going on there like a couple years ago and like
Oh yeah, the weird thing about Chile is that the kids actually protest schools. They want better schools because out there, like there's a huge middle class, and then they all go to private schools. Like my family all went to private schools, but the public schools aren't that great, and you actually got kids like protesting, and they bring out these water tanks
yeah, yeah, I've
full
seen
of
that.
water. I saw them one day because I went to a soccer game and they showed up with a water tank
Yeah.
and the tear gas. It was crazy, but yeah, there's a lot. Actually, the Pan Am Games are happening in
Oh,
Santiago.
really? Is
Do you-
that's soccer? I don't know anything.
the
Yeah.
Pan Am Games are like they're like the smaller version of the Olympics, but they're only like from like North and Central and South
Oh,
America.
Pan America.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Pan Am, but they're happening down there right now and stuff. But yeah, there's always protests down there because the whole dynamic, in 1970, we had the first communist elected
Yeah,
president,
Allende, yeah.
Allende. In 73, the U.S. helped overthrow
Yeah.
him. In fact, the weird thing is one of my cousins who came from a really wealthy family, not my side wealthy, he took me to like a communist meeting.
Oh, really? What was that like?
It was pretty fun. It was like a bingo fundraising
Okay.
thing. But yeah, it was weird because I grew up in the '80s, the whole Red
Yeah, sure.
Scare,
Yeah,
like, and here I am. My cousin's like blonde, blue eyed.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, I look more communist than he did, but I had a good time.
Yeah.
I went to a concert with him for Victor Jara. Do you know Victor
Uh,
Jara? Yeah, he was a Chilean singer.
oh, okay.
They took him. They took him when Pinochet took over and they
Oh,
killed him.
damn.
So yeah,
Because he was like, what? Like
he,
sympathetic to the
yeah, he was a
cause?
protest.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of weird deaths happened during that time.
Interesting.
Neruda died a couple days
The
afterward.
poet, right? Yeah.
So I went to his house, but yeah, that's the thing about it is like my cousin works for the government. She's in
Mm.
international business, but
Uh-huh.
uh, my other my other side is like your cousin's communist. She works for no, and they're like every government is either communist or like Nazi
Yeah,
type. You
right.
know,
Yeah, it's one extreme or the other. Huh?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Like but yeah,
Damn.
it's weird. In fact, I did you ever see that movie? No.
No, but I heard about it though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw it on the plane when
Yeah,
I
yeah.
came.
It's like a documentary, huh? Yeah.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's a real movie about how they got the dictator Pinochet out of office.
Yeah.
They convinced him to have an election to see if
Oh, and
they
then everybody voted no instead of yes.
people
Yeah.
voted no.
Yeah,
They're
yeah, yeah.
like, get out, get out.
That's funny.
He
That's
thought
funny.
he was gonna win, but yeah. But yeah, I have a lot of family that's really right wing.
Uh-huh.
But what I liked about being in Chile is I figured out, the Chilean people aren't like my family, like
Mm.
my family is like 700 Club cover.
Oh, really? No way.
Yeah, I told them I was born under Allende, and they booed me.
Really?
They booed me like it was my fault.
What, your family?
My family did well with Pinochet.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
one of my uncles actually was mayor under Pinochet, but he married into the family. I don't know if they like to hear that part.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he's not my blood.
Yeah.
But
Damn, funny.
in fact, one of my aunts is really like every day she goes to church in the morning, and she I guess she does a communion.
Mm.
She brings a flower. I don't know what the Catholic communion really is, but yeah, I talked to her yesterday. It was her birthday, and she actually went to somebody's house, and the person was dead. It was weird. I'm like
What,
you
she goes
know,
like door to door? Like,
nah. She goes to old people.
uh-huh.
I don't know. You're not a Catholic, are you? I
I was
figured.
raised Catholic, actually.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I was baptized, but
Yeah.
the whole communion thing where she brings a flower to
You,
people.
like, you mean like the wafer thing or the?
Not the wafer, that's like the cracker, but I think
I don't know the flower.
she can't do the communion because she's not a priest, but there's like a ceremony where
I
you
see.
bring some kind of
I
flower.
see. Uh-huh.
So she went to somebody's house and
Dang, she got there too late.
they got there too late. Got there too late. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, yeah. But yeah, Chile's a fun place. I was staying in Viña del Mar, it's like a resort beach city.
Okay.
And I stayed near Calle Valparaiso, which is a big street, which is closed down just for shopping. But yeah, I had a good time. I came back realizing what Chilean people really are.
Mm.
Like not to because I got another uncle that's Opus Dei on my
Damn. All
mom's
right. That,
side.
that's a really intense Catholic
Yeah,
stuff.
he goes to church every night. Yeah, these people didn't take me to church. Like, my grandparents used to take me to
Yeah.
church.
Yeah.
Because I visited them in junior high. I went there twice in the summertime. Well, no, it was summer here. It was winter there. And in fact, I think the second time I went there, every Sunday, yeah, they took me to church, and yeah, I would go, and it was weird because I never did the communions,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but
They just sit in peace.
So, just to let you guys know, the significance of the flower
Oh,
communion is that as no two flowers are alike, so no two people are alike, yet each has a contribution to make.
that's heartwarming.
So, there you go. There's the meaning.
Yeah.
Meaning
When you
of
kept
the-
saying flour, I thought you meant like the wafers were made out of flour for like baking or
uh,
something. But
I've never
interesting.
actually had one of those wafers. What do they
They're
taste
really
like?
bland. Yeah.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
Tastes like nothing.
Yeah.
My brother and I are the only two of my cousins that didn't do the communions.
Uh-huh.
My parents went through Catholic school, but they didn't want anything to do with the Catholic Church in America.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, my mom went to Catholic school too, and she said because of that, you're not going because she didn't like it at all.
yeah, I don't know what it was. In fact, the church I used to go to, it was a school that my cousins went to,
Mm.
and they took out the church in the school.
Wait, who did?
The owners of the school, they decided to move,
Damn.
and it's weird that you can just take down a church.
Yeah, that
but
seems. I would like wince if I had to do
yeah,
that. Yeah.
I remember because that summer, like there was a girl I liked who was moving after she was moving during that summer,
Yeah.
and I spent the whole summer praying. I said, God, if she doesn't move, I'll become Catholic. And she moved, so I was
Oh
like,
damn! All right, that's a sign from God right there. Like,
yeah, it was weird. It was like the whole summer, like I was praying, like, please don't go. She went anyway. I don't know.
damn.
I saw her once later on, but yeah, it was. I almost became Catholic, but I came close. I had the good intentions,
Yeah.
but yeah, nobody forced me. But how far did you do the whole communion? Or?
Yeah, I did communion stuff, and then like I didn't do any like confirmation or anything like that.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah, I didn't get
confirmation.
that far.
Uh,
Like we were just doing it for my grandma, but once she died, we kind of stopped playing around. We just kind of,
uh,
yeah. Uh, so I don't know. I found memories of it, but whatever. I was never really that into it.
yeah, church is weird. It's like a ceremony.
Yeah.
After a while, one of my aunt, she took me to a friend of hers who like paints for churches, and she was painting a Jesus. And I almost told her, I'm like, you do know Jesus is black, right? Got the blonde, blue eye,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
didn't say anything. But it's just, yeah, it's weird. I think the Catholic Church is so ingrained.
yeah.
But my cousin told me that they're losing power because they've had a lot of scandals.
Yeah.
Like
So
the
I've heard
sex,
about them.
yeah, I mean, they're all over the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like,
I was thinking about going, not because I want to be religious, but I was like, man, there's all these free shows going on every Sunday. I could go to a free show.
yeah, they're pretty neat.
Yeah, but
In high school, my friend who was a Mormon, he took me to the Mormon church.
that's got to be weird.
Yeah, it was like 3 hours long, and at first they put you with a group of teenagers, then it was the group of men, and then everybody together. And I was like, 3 hours is too long,
That's incredible.
And my friend, he really didn't follow any of the rule. He had like the biggest porn collection of all my friends. Yeah, I don't think he was much of a drinker. He actually went on a mission and stuff, but
Oh, interesting. Where to?
I forgot where it was. It was somewhere in America. But I actually ran into Mormons. Every time I go to Chile, I run into Mormons. Like,
Really?
yeah, I don't know what it is about Mormons. Like, they follow me around and stuff. Are you ready for your foot massage?
Yeah,
And-
yeah. Sorry, I just brought it up here to.
So were you running here, or were you like?
I was just walking by. Oh, we have our own. We have a different sort of recording studio across the hallway, so I was going.
Oh, in the building?
Yeah,
Or-
just down here in the basement. Yeah.
Oh, really? What do you guys do there?
We
Like,
just record like random people off the street, actually.
yeah.
Yeah, apparently I qualify as
Yeah,
one of those people off the streets.
Well,
No, but I say she means that in a loving, caring kind of way.
yeah, definitely. Although, like, your voice is very much more rich and sonorant and like appealing than most.
Oh,
of the
then
people.
most people go,
Yeah.
look, you get the fentanyl.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the deal.
By the
So-
way, did you know the percentage of adults who attended church at least once a week last year?
Yeah.
We break it down by state, but on an average, it looks like the national average is about 30%.
That's higher than I thought it would be. To
Right?
Be honest.
Isn't that
Yeah,
crazy?
Yeah.
And I figure another 20, 30 years, that'll go down to
Yeah,
like 5,
yeah.
10%.
And it must be all concentrated too, because it's not San Francisco where that's.
No, it's like the Bible Belt.
Yeah, right.
Literally the Bible Belt.
Yeah.
And so,
A
That's
couple of
right.
years ago, I used to attend a mushroom church.
Oh, the one out in Oakland there. What's
Yeah.
it called? The side
Side
door.
Side
door.
the
Yeah,
side door.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The guy used to give out joints, and
What's the deal there? Like,
I don't know. He would. It got weird because he would tell us stories about like I did like 40 grams of mushrooms, but I did them for you, so you didn't have to do it. And then he's like,
it's like
but.
Jesus.
But I had the runs for like 2 weeks.
Oh,
I had
jeez.
that, and I was like, no, that's where, I'm down with church. But when you started talking about I got diarrhea because I do too many mushrooms, but I do them for you.
I heard him. So he said something about that. I heard the same guy talk about it, and he said that he took some crazy level of mushrooms that was like nearly 40 grams or something, and it was on a weekend. And all I know is apparently he woke up on his kitchen floor soaking wet, naked.
What's the appeal at that point?
I don't know, but I don't think he was hearing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, I don't think he was like feeling any close to God.
I think he opened up one in San Francisco. He has a
Well, they like legalized it here. or
yeah. They
something
have a
like that.
church out. He was on Fox News.
Oh, I'm sure
He
he's
was-
the best representative of that.
He was
Yeah.
on Fox News, but weird. He claimed he never really did any of that stuff,
Oh,
and
he's
so.
lying.
But yeah, I used to go there. I used to because they had a lounge area, so you could go out there, you could dab. But they got busted by, they got raided.
By like the federal
They,
police or
they
something.
got raided by the feds. Yeah, there's door.
So what is it? It's now legal in, I believe, L.A. County, Santa Cruz, and somewhere else. Is it here?
Not here. I thought it might have. I don't
In
know.
in
Well,
Oakland.
I know that while he was away in Chile, they Newsom vetoed
Oh, that's
yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah, I did see that.
vetoed the statewide one.
I know in Oakland they decriminalized all that stuff. Acid. What was it called?
Oh,
LSD?
masculine. or
I
something.
masculine, but what DMT?
DMT.
Yeah.
DMT. They legalized all that stuff.
Interesting.
Everything but crack. I think.
There's actually a store in San Francisco, and I keep forgetting the name of it, but I can look it up.
It's on Haight-Ashbury, isn't it? It's on Haight Street.
What is it called? Mr. Something or Dr. Somebody?
Yeah, it's right at the end. Yeah.
But it's like Mr. Mushrooms Emporium or something like that. And
Yeah.
basically, they have all these crazy things, including someone gave me some Brazilian tree bark that
What's
if you throw it into a Cuisinart food processor and break it down, and then you add some other inert thing like flour or something, and it turns into DMT.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's interesting. Because I've never done it. I really want to try it, to be honest.
Yeah, I want to be in a controlled environment
Yeah.
like Studio 2B here at Ed Studios. Right. And so, yeah, I've always wanted to do that.
It lasts like 10 minutes or something
Yeah.
a day or something. Yeah.
It's like the
It's
best
not-
LSD
it's
trip you'll have
expensive,
for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like $100 I think a gram.
Really?
It's expensive, but yeah, I wanted to try it too and stuff, but I don't know. Yeah, like Newsom's in the alcohol business. I don't know why we keep getting fooled by that guy.
Oh, interesting.
He's
like,
in the alcohol business. He doesn't want any competition. You know.
Well, also, I think he's also going to be. He says he's not going to be.
Oh, but he
I think
totally
he's-
is, yeah.
But I think he's going to the national stage. I think
Oh,
he's
yeah.
going to be running, and he wants to make sure that he doesn't ruffle too many
Yeah.
national feathers.
Yeah.
He was
Well,
in China.
Yeah, he
for a
was
while.
literally in China. What else
He was
would
in China. Yeah.
Why else would you need to go to China?
Right.
Yeah.
He does look like the Joker, though. Have you noticed that? He looks like the Joker.
Like with that sort of hair that like
Look back
Yeah.
with a little cloth coming over the
Yeah.
top or something. Yeah.
It's
like
funny.
the Jack Nicholson Joker.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah.
It's funny. You talk to some people who lived here when he was mayor, and they got all kinds of crazy stories.
Yeah.
Like he was sleeping with his best friend's wife or something. That
That's where we throw your disclaimer up on the screen so we don't.
oh
get
no,
sued.
wait, no. You can Google all this stuff. You know, this is real stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I never thought he was going to become governor because he doesn't seem like somebody who wants to be near Sacramento. He
'cause
seems
he's too rich and suave for that.
yeah. Like I always thought we've had a bunch of female senators, but we never had a female governor because rich women don't want to be in Sacramento. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not from California really, so I don't know what the general take on Sacramento is.
Have you
Like,
been in Sacramento?
I drove through.
Oh,
once.
yeah.
I like stopped for a coffee or something like nothing.
Oh no, it gets to like 110 degrees.
That sounds miserable.
My brother lives in Folsom, which is
Oh yeah.
he's not at the prison. I tell people that as a joke, but because that's where the prison where Johnny
Oh,
Cash.
Johnny Cash. Yeah.
Yeah, he recorded his record, but yeah, I mean Sacramento's okay, but I don't know. It's not like the Bay Area.
Yeah.
but I know a lot of people who moved down there and stuff. So what's the capital of Washington?
Olympia.
Oh yeah, how far? Isn't that where Kurt Cobain's from? or-
Well, he's from a little town called Aberdeen that's out there, but like
oh yeah.
well, Olympia has this it's a state college, state university, but it's like they don't do grades. It's very like hippie sort of thing.
Oh yeah, what's the name
The
of that
Evergreen
place?
State College.
Yeah.
And so that just means like Kurt Cobain, but all these other people kind of migrated there because it's just the scene was really cool. And
You see, Santa Cruz was
it's like that. Yeah.
They used to not give out grades. Like, a friend of mine, I guess his his sister-in-law went to some Hogwarts type school in Colorado
Okay.
somewhere. Like, I don't know.
What do they give out there?
I don't know. I wanted to go to Hogwarts, but I didn't realize there was actually schools like that. I went to Fresno State, which is they give grades. Too bad. I'd rather be at a place with no grades.
Yeah.
If I had to do it over again, I would find a place with no grades.
Yeah, damn.
No grades.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Olympia is a really cool place. I wish I was like cool enough to hang out there and not get grades and stuff.
I used to know people who went to that school. Like,
really?
yeah, it's like a really famous school and stuff.
Yeah. And I think it's like not a bad school. I don't
Did
know. Like,
did you go to college? Or?
yeah, I went to the University of Washington. So
Oh yeah, the Huskies
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
that's
That's
just because it's down the road. I didn't really. That's the only place I've
a,
gone to. Yeah.
yeah, I've been to Seattle 3 times. I've been in the middle of heat waves. Every time it's been like a damn heat wave and stuff. I couldn't figure out why. I mean,
I don't know, but like normally it's not like that. Normally it's just gray skies and
yeah.
like a little mist, and I like that.
I'm talking about like 100-degree weather. Like I went 1 year. I went for the Hemp Fest, and it was so hot. I had to calculate what times I would show up there. It was incredible, you know. It's like being in Vegas in the summertime. It
It's
was
brutal.
bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you go back there a
Oh,
lot?
I go
or-
back there all the time. Yeah.
Do you drive? I drove there one time. I did that drive.
Yeah. Last time I drove down, I just drove down the coast a couple weeks ago, and
Uh,
that's great. But it takes forever though. But
yeah.
it's really beautiful.
It's a fun drive. But in the winter, it's got to be real different to be doing that drive.
Well, if you go on I-5, we call it I-5 up there.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you go over a mountain pass and it's like super snowy, blah blah blah. But if you take the really slow, squiggly route on the coast, and it's not snowy, and
Uh,
it just takes forever. So.
Yeah, I think 1 year we went up to Vancouver,
Oh
Canada
yeah.
to celebrate the 1st of July,
Uh-huh.
and then we were down on the 4th for Seattle. We hit both national holidays. Like,
Wait, is the 1st of July a national holiday in Canada?
yeah, it's like Canada Day. It's like
really?
that. Yeah, I think that's like the 4th of July.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's gotta be just the most boring wussy version of 4th of July.
It probably is. They had fireworks. But did you ever go to Canada like during
Oh
high
yeah.
school?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like a lot of my friends, like they're I don't know what the situation is now, but like the drinking age was 19, you know.
Wow.
And so when we would drive, across the border for the weekend or whatever,
Oh,
we were
yeah.
feeling stupid. We could have gotten alcohol down here.
I know.
but,
I mean,
yeah.
I used to do that in
Yeah.
Tijuana too. I remember, yeah, before I was 21, we used to, when
Oh,
I lived in
Tijuana.
LA, we would go hit up Tijuana, yeah. Because in Mexico, the drinking age was 18.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah, I mean, I did the same thing on the other side, you
yeah.
know.
We
All
did. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna segue into another kind of drinking.
Okay.
So I know that Chris is like myself. I'm not sure if you are. We need our caffeine. Are you a caffeine addict at all?
I'm like I drink coffee every morning.
Okay.
But I don't generally drink it any later than that.
Okay.
But if I do, like some people like claim they like can't sleep or whatever. I sleep fine even if I drink coffee like in the evening. I don't know.
Right. I usually at the amount of caffeine I drink earlier in the day will make me crash later anyway.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm good. So I'm wondering if you guys have heard about the charged lemonade at Panera Bread.
Where this person died.
Yes.
Yeah. That's brutal. Like, was it because they have like so much caffeine, or was she like?
So let me go
Something
ahead and
was
read
going
this
on
little
there.
little blurb, and then I'm gonna hopefully we'll plant the seed and watch you guys talk about this.
Yeah.
Panera Bread customers will now see a new warning label when ordering charged lemonade drinks, thanks to a recent lawsuit. The family of Sarah Katz, the 21-year-old University of Pennsylvania student, filed the lawsuit last week following the college student's death in 2022, alleging the highly caffeinated drink was improperly labeled and ultimately led to Katz's death caused by a cardiac arrest.
Wait, ultimately, like it wasn't a because maybe she was just doing coke or something. She was
Yeah,
just,
right.
like,
A little bump,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
charged
yeah.
lemonade right next to it. Yeah. So
I used to go to Panera a lot. I never realized that, they had lemonade with a lot of caffeine.
it's called charged lemonade. So
Yeah.
this is a new thing they started doing. This is kind of like a Red Bull infused lemonade kind of thing.
I drank 5 Red Bulls in one night. Like, I was performing at the San Jose Improv, and they kept bringing me drinks. I
Yeah.
kept ordering Red Bulls.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe I feel a little suspicious about that then, I guess, because like a lot of people are drinking a lot of caffeine all the time, you know?
Yeah.
And this,
I mean, so I wonder because I have a thing that's called a soda stream at home, and I
Oh,
make
right,
my
yeah.
seltzer water,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they have syrups that you can add. I
Right.
don't really ever add syrups. I might add a little bit of the like the essence of mango
Yeah,
kind
right.
of thing. Has no calories, has no
like this sort of
caffeine.
lacrosse sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it doesn't really have any nutritional value to it. It just adds a little taste to your water. But there's this thing that SodaStream comes out with, and it's their version of Red Bull or Rockstar. And
Oh,
if
it's
you
super
actually
concentrated.
and it's a concentrated,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
in a syrup, and it's about as big as your
Yeah.
vitamin water bottle full of syrup. And you're supposed to add so much to each one of your liters, but if you're
Yeah.
like really tired and
Yeah.
you're like, man, I need a double today,
Yeah.
you like put way more in. And
Yeah.
it's funny because when you add the syrup to the water like overflows. It like
Oh, really?
it like ignites. So all I know is I've definitely overdosed myself.
Yeah, and that can fuck you up.
Oh
Like,
yeah, no, you're like
Yeah.
you're like Chris trying to do comedy at the Improv after 5 Red Bulls. That shit don't work. You're like,
I was fine.
were you
but
fine?
I,
How was your set? Do you think
yeah, right.
I'm guessing you had a little energy.
I had a lot of. One time I had a rock star this big. I never seen the rock stars, but yeah, I puked that. I was up in the.
Damn.
I was in the balcony in the Improv. I was puking from the rock star, and so you know the weird thing is in Chile they don't got Mountain Dew. There was no Mountain Dew.
Really, I love Mountain Dew.
I know.
It's like the regular soda that has like 3 times the amount of
Oh,
calories.
Yeah. There was no Mountain Dew. The Starbucks is the same price all over the world, but it was packed. The Starbucks down there was packed. They had Dunkin' Donuts too. And people keep telling me Dunkin' Donuts is like the best coffee ever. But I've never drank coffee alone and stuff.
Well, I'm glad that we're spreading our obesity across the globe.
Yeah. Milkshakes.
And
Yeah.
diabetes
Yeah.
and yeah. So that's the other thing is I can't drink any coffee from Dunkin' unless it's the actual cold brew that comes
Okay.
out of the whatever you want to call it, the spigot or whatever you want to call it. What is that called?
I don't know.
What is that called when you get beer out of
I think it is cold.
out of the tap?
Yeah.
Thank you. When you get cold brew out of the tap, it's
Yeah.
fine. But whenever you get the frozen drinks or anything else, they add this concentrated pumped coffee
Yeah.
that tastes like somebody took Sanka and
Uh,
like really, really concentrated
Yeah,
it
yeah.
down, and it tastes like it tastes wrong.
Yeah, I get paranoid about that because I think like McDonald's, you know, like that sort of beef is probably just like the weirdest beef
Oh,
that's
yeah.
out there. And I gotta imagine that's like the McDonald's of coffee, you know?
Yeah,
So it's
right.
gotta have like weird. For all I know, it's weird shit. In
Now that you
beef.
make
Yeah.
that correlation, there
Yeah.
has been less homeless out here.
Oh, interesting.
so there might be.
you know the weird thing in Chile, everybody has the
Damn.
what is it called? The instant coffee.
I mean,
The instant coffee tastes like shit. I hate
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I hate the everybody had instant coffee. I got so tired of it. And the Coke, I drank a lot of Coke because you're not supposed to drink water.
wait,
But
down Chile, you mean? Or-
yeah, in Chile, but the instant coffee, then it's just horrible. It's just horrible.
Yeah, it kind of makes me sad that like, I mean, Dunkin' Donuts, even the colors like pink and orange, like what the fuck? Those are ugly colors. Spreading that shit all over the globe.
Oh,
like,
I know.
yeah.
I'm telling you, and it's really kind of scary stuff. That coffee, it tastes really weird. So another thing I used to love is milkshakes from either what is it called, Arby's
Okay.
or Foster Freeze. They used to
Oh.
have one had like a Jamocha milkshake, and so what it's basically it's a mocha milkshake
Uh-huh.
that they put coffee in.
Okay.
And what they do is they literally make like a chocolate and vanilla and put it into a cup and blend it up. But then they put like 3 or 4 scoops of instant coffee, and it's usually the most generic coffee there is.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not even like Sanka or Folgers.
Yeah.
It's like Costco.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
and you
Industrial grade.
yeah, you feel like you're literally going to have a heart attack.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, yeah, I could see why somebody. Well, we're also a country that having a problem with obesity, but we're also have a problem with suing everybody for anything.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
100%. Yeah, that's what I'm more thinking along those lines for this Panera case. I don't know.
You know the weird. Remember when somebody sued McDonald's because the coffee was too
Too
hot?
hot,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, even worse than that. A couple years later, somebody was suing McDonald's because they were supersizing things, and they were saying they were getting obese from the French fries.
Oh damn. Although
Don't eat it.
devil's advocate here,
Don't eat it.
if I had the chance, and nobody knows this woman's name, they don't know what these names.
Right, because
If
they never release it.
If I had the
as part of
chance
deal.
to get some money out of McDonald's for just making a fool of myself, I don't know, I might do it.
You might do it, especially I think she at that time, and that was like 30 years ago or something. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
She made like so many millions of dollars.
Like, I mean, in principle, yeah, sure, I don't want anyone doing that. But if I could do that and get $1 million, I don't know. I
and
might
how
do it.
hot could that have coffee
It can't be
been?
that hot, right?
I think she literally spilt it, and it was like between her legs or something, and it spilt and burnt her. Yeah.
That's
I was watching a documentary on Jewel. Remember Jewel?
yeah, the singer, yeah.
No, not the singer, but the
Oh, Jewel Pods. Or,
The
Oh,
Pods,
Gil Boss.
right?
Oh, yeah. I was like, oh, I remember her. She had that hit single.
yeah.
yeah, and parents are upset. Like, oh, they made it for the kids. But watching the documentary, I started thinking, what about all the kids that were doing Jewel and stayed off hard drugs because they had something to do?
I don't know. They got to get their parents to like
Yeah, I mean,
speak up.
because I don't believe the whole thing. Like they're doing that in California. They're trying to pass laws like you can't have any like cartoon advertising
Yeah.
for the weed because of the kids and all that. And it's like I'm not buying all that.
I remember my mom. This is true story. My mom, when I was growing up, her mom died of like lung cancer. It's like a smoker for forever, and all growing up, my mom was always like, "Don't smoke cigarettes. Whatever you do, just smoke weed. Smoke as much weed as you want, but don't smoke cigarettes." That's what she told me growing up, and so I followed that advice.
Yeah.
To the T. So.
And in fact, it's weird. Like, they had all these flavors, and they're like,
sure,
the kids love the flavors. I'm like, people love flavors. Like, it's crazy. Like, they won't. They decided to take out the flavor in all the concentrates and
Oh, right.
dispensaries for the same reason. They think the kids are gonna get their hands on it.
Well, okay, so, but you don't think any of this looks like it shouldn't, that we shouldn't be aware of it? Hold on, let me see if I can give you guys something to look at too. I want to give you,
Oh, this is weed. Oh no.
this is all weed packaging,
Well, yeah, because it's the same packaging, right? So
right? And
a
so,
lot
That's
of people
convincing.
copy it. Yeah.
Like those Doritos look like real Doritos.
I mean, that's kind of scary. So let's look
Yeah.
at the thing. It's double stuffed stone.
Yeah.
I mean, or the Doritos
And with all
looking
there's so
ones.
many crazy ass Oreo flavors nowadays that you
Dope
can't believe
rope
it.
bites.
Yeah, I go to
The
Assess.
Doritos.
They
ones.
sell all that kind of stuff, and like they got Cheetos,
Delta Munchies.
they got weed Cheetos, everything you can think of, all your favorite snacks.
So I don't like that.
Look
one.
at all those gummies. Those okay. So
Yeah.
even they look like the gummy
Oh,
worms.
Skittles.
Instead of Skittles, it's Zittles.
Yeah,
Oh,
And so,
that's wild. Well,
oh,
yeah.
by the way, you guys should see it too. I'm sorry, I wasn't sharing with you guys. There you go. So, but I mean, look at some of this stuff. If you saw that rack up on a shelf,
Yeah.
and it was one of these stores where they say that they're gonna be able to start selling pot and cannabis
Yeah.
in CVS stores.
Really.
So imagine you make the wrong turn down the wrong aisle, and you think you got the munchies aisle.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, you'll end up eating some of these gummies,
Yeah.
and then getting the munchies for the real
Yeah.
products. It's a vicious
Yeah.
circle we run, right?
Well,
over and over again. So
I think you'll know because they're gonna ID you. You got to be 21 and over to buy that stuff.
oh, sure you
Right.
do, sure you
Yeah.
do.
They're gonna ID you, and
I'm guessing it's all going to be secured in a case that's.
Well, yeah, it's
locked
gonna be
up,
like with the shampoo too.
right. It's
Yeah.
going to be with the shampoo and razor blades.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
gotcha.
I mean, I see people selling mushroom tea, but is it really mushroom tea or is it just regular mushroom tea. Is it psychedelic mushroom tea?
No, a lot of them are, unless they actually say they're psilocybin. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to follow all these trends. Like people, beets. Beets are another superfood people are into. But
Well,
yeah,
that's what you see now. You see these things, which I have this crazy bottle of mushroom tincture, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's mushrooms." No, well, it's mushrooms, but it's organic mushrooms. It's not meant to get you high. It's
Oh, it's like
helping you with
the
antioxidants.
chaga or the lion's mane. Or
Yeah,
whatever that sort of
exactly.
stuff. Yeah. Yeah. The weed look-alike stuff. One, yeah, sure, maybe that's like predatory for kids too, but also like I don't know. Maybe you guys differ. I'm an adult. I have dignity. Don't infantilize me with this bullshit. Like, if I want to smoke or eat gummies, I'll like have stuff that doesn't look like it's pandering to me. I don't know.
Like this one, it's not Sour Patch, it's Stony Patch.
Stony Patch. I mean, that'd be the best job to have. Coming up with those.
Right?
Like, your job is to walk the candy aisle and think of stupid puns to like.
Right.
one of my friends said he accidentally left some edibles lying around, and one of his grandkids ate it. Didn't realize it was weed.
Oh, I probably saw them on a news story.
I was
And the
like,
I mean, it's like every other week a kid brings something to school.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, thanks.
Well, what happened to the kid? Was he just like super chill and like?
I don't know. I think it was.
It'd probably be scary.
It was.
actually, as a kid.
I think it was like a 3 or 4 year old.
Oh,
It
damn.
was young, but
I mean, look at those. Those are up behind your head right now. These are behind your guys' head. But I mean,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
I mean, each one of them looks like, and some of them even have like the Doritos one.
Yeah, the Dorito. I can't even see the joke in the Dorito.
I don't even say there is no
Looks like a straight up
What?
Dorito.
straight up Doritos, and then the trolley ones look like just like the stupid gummies,
Dude,
right?
I kind of want those.
And what's the
The
warhead? The
Warhead?
warheads say warheads.
That's crazy.
That is wild. Even the Skittles say
Yeah,
Skittles.
yeah, it's not with a Z.
they
anymore.
make cereal like you can get Cocoa Puffs.
The Coke Puffs. They'll be.
Yeah,
Coke
they-
Puffs, yeah.
They got they got everything every kind of snack you like. They have a weed version of it. Like
That's-
I go to a sesh, and the sesh is the vendors aren't licensed, because they can't sell to a dispensary. So it's like a farmer's market that each vendor's got their weed or whatever they're selling, or vape pens and all kinds of stuff. And yeah, some people got a whole table full of snacks.
Yeah.
They got red vines. I mean, they got it all. Or they got drinks. I drink it. I got they got it all.
I was looking at the. I'm
They
sorry.
got
I started
gum,
looking at the
M&Ms.
double stuffed stone neos.
Stone. Dude.
Okay, it's not made by Nabisco. It's made by Dabisco.
Dabisco.
Like
Yeah.
they're doing dabs.
Oh yeah.
And the weird thing is, these are homemade products, right? The ones I eat. Some of them really taste like weed. Some of them, the law is in the dispensary, you can't buy any edibles over 100 milligrams.
Oh okay.
But at these places, they got up to 500 milligrams.
Oh really? I bet you the quality control really isn't there either. So you might get whatever.
You
know?
might, yeah, you might get some. In fact, before in the medical marijuana days, you could buy candy bars that were like 1,000 milligrams.
Damn.
So this high chew gum is 300 milligrams in a packet. The
Yeah,
one that I have
Huh.
above your guys' head, which is
Yeah.
just crazy.
Yeah. Damn. I mean, my tolerance is kind of high, but I try to lower it.
do you go to a dispensary, or is there a dispensary you go to?
Yeah,
or-
I just go to random ones though. I don't like. I'm
There's
an
a couple
idiot.
nearby. There's like Mo Greens. over
Yeah,
there.
see, I've never been around. Like, I try to keep my tolerance low. Like, I don't do it every day because I just like want to keep a low tolerance because I like sometimes getting really blasted. You know.
I went 3 weeks in Chile without weed. Like,
Oh yeah, how's that?
I don't know. I felt fine.
Have you not smoked anything yet?
Oh no, I went to assess the next day when I arrived. Like, I was high. Like the next day, I got high and
Oh, yeah.
stuff. I actually brought some edibles on the plane with me.
Oh yeah, I think
Ah.
you probably it's technically illegal, but like the drug, like the TSA at least, they're like trying to find bombs and shit. They're not even
Yeah.
trying to find.
We like food is the best thing to bring because they don't even feed you now. So you can show up with a sandwich full of weed inside.
The
They
lettuce
don't
just
fucking
leaves.
care. Yeah, Bring a Big Mac. Instead of lettuce, you got a bunch of
It just seemed
weed.
like Cheech and Chong or something.
I'm trying to remember. It was a few years back too. It was like probably 5 years ago that they had to divert a flight that was coming here, or they ended up diverting it here because the guy had too many edibles, and he was just going. He was like running up and down
No
the
way.
aisle of the plane and wanted to get off the plane, and then he tried to open up the door of the plane, and they're like, "Yeah, Air Marshal."
Wait, well, did you hear this thing that happened last week on this
Oh, the
flight?
pilot, yeah.
The pilot so that's flying out of my hometown airport, and he was apparently on shrooms or something, or he had been messed up for a couple days, and he was a pilot. He was in the cockpit, and he tried to reach for the shut off. I have no idea.
He
Like,
tried to reach for something,
Yeah,
and what
to shut-
happened?
that would have otherwise like made the plane's engines turn off. But apparently he was so like high and out of it, he was really easy to subdue, you know. And but he was like a legit real pilot, and so.
Yeah. You know the
And
weird
so it
thing?
got diverted. It was going to go
Yeah.
down to San Francisco, but it diverted and sent to Portland, I guess.
That's weird. Yeah, I heard about that. The
Yeah.
guy, yeah. He like freaked out. He was trying to take down the plane.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
But
that's,
he claims he thought he was like in a dream or something. I don't know. The story doesn't really add up to me, but
I don't know. I've had some bad experiences in edibles. Like once in a while, I had so many edibles. Like in fact, I think I came home so fucking high. I went straight to bed, and my mom's like, "What the hell's wrong with you? You know, what the fuck were you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know."
All right, so we want to read it from the New York Post, CNN, or Fox? Not Fox.
I don't care either way.
I would say CNN. They say it was Alaskan Airlines.
Yeah.
All right, pilots can lose their jobs for getting mental health care. Alaskan Airlines incident brings renewed scrutiny.
Ah, interesting.
All right, Richard Westmoreland says in the beginning, being an airline pilot was great. But he repeated days-long stretches away from home, commuting back and forth between his home near Houston and regional carrier SkyWest crew based in Detroit began to take a toll on his marriage and himself. That's crazy. So Westmoreland is just one of the countless professional pilots who are now calling on the FAA, which certifies that civilian pilots in the United States are healthy to fly. So I guess he was having mental health issues.
I guess so. But he claimed he was on shrooms, I guess.
He was on shrooms.
That's what he said, I guess.
I know
But
no.
a couple of my parents' friends have kids that are pilots, and like they don't get paid that much.
And my perspective is like I'm on that airplane. Give the pilot whatever they want. Like,
yeah.
like I want them to be the most like boring, straight up, normal, rich, whatever.
And is it now it sounds like everybody in America is self-medicating. What was it a few months ago that they found cocaine in the White House?
Oh right, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, okay, no, Hunter's not there, so it's not his. So
Yeah.
who's
No, Hunter was there at that
his?
time.
Was he?
He was there
He
at that
was there.
time. He was there.
Yeah. I know. I think about sometimes I get high and walk around just to look at the city or whatever.
All right.
And now I think like how many other people are doing the same thing?
Oh, dude,
Like,
going people watching.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
At least I'm only doing that. Who knows what other people are doing?
Right, and I mention that to people all the time. I have, we're both stand-up comedians and writers, and I tell people all the time, they're like, "Oh, I'm having writer's block." I go, "You're in San Francisco and you're
Yeah,
having
yeah.
writer's
Just walk
block.
out the door. Yeah.
You don't even have to get high; just
Yeah.
walk out the door and look."
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
get on the free Muni buses and stuff.
Yeah, I've seen some.
I was upset that the people are protesting those self-driving cars because I don't got a license, I don't got a car, and I'm dreaming about my own self-driving car. I'm looking forward to, and because people are like protesting, they're getting mad over it, and I'm like, why are you getting mad? Why can't you just let us have our self-driving cars? You know?
And it's cool to make you more comfortable. They can even put a mother module in the car that bitches at you, like, "Son, get out.
Yeah,
Here's
right.
your stop.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Don't forget to get home and get the dishes done tonight."
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, with the AI, product, it can be your
Exactly.
AI mom.
I mean, there's people smoking crack on Muni buses now. You know.
Somebody fatally got hurt, or not fatally, but really got hurt by one of those cruise
I
vehicles.
saw that. Yeah, yeah.
And so if you're driving here in San Francisco or any of these other cities where they have the autonomous cars,
Yeah.
if you've noticed for the last couple of years, even though they're autonomous cars, they may be, I don't want to start using names, but, they have all the moving things and the cameras going around them, all this stuff. And you're like, oh, there's an autonomous car. And you start to pull up to it. There's usually someone in it.
Yeah.
There's someone even usually in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh, okay. So even if this is a rogue AI bot that wants to start taking out people, at least there's an actual human there to stop it. And it was like about a month ago where I pulled up next to one of these cars, and you're like, there's absolutely no one in that car.
It's real, and I had to do like a double take,
And I got my car a little bit close to them, and they came over a little bit.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, you're going to hit me.
Yeah.
And you don't have someone in you. It's like I almost wanted to lean into it.
Yeah.
They got insurance. I'm quite sure those cars are
Sure.
insured.
I'm thinking one wrongful death suit that company's done.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Well, they were just ordered off the streets
Did they finally get to order them off?
for temporarily. I don't
I think one of the companies, but there's a couple of them that are out there. But I think it's the future. I was an Uber driver. He was driving a Tesla, and the car just stopped by itself because it thought it was a near car. It just stopped by itself. And we're not too far from would you be on a plane, a self-flying plane?
Oh, an autonomous plane? No way.
They
We call them
probably,
drones,
Yeah.
by the way.
they probably wouldn't even tell you, like, there was a bird drone that went into my house. Like,
A bird drone? It looked like a pigeon or a seagull?
It
What
looked-
did it look like?
it looked like a bird, but as soon as I shut the door on it to try and capture the bird,
Wait,
it started flying like 100 miles an hour, just going.
Had one red eye.
Yeah, I was like, it was so fast.
malfunctioning
I
or
was
something?
freaked out, But if my mom hadn't been there, I would have like hid in my room and waited until that thing lost power, so I could get my hands on this damn bird.
I have to tell you that psilocybin is not a superfood.
It's
Now
good,
you're
man.
seeing
good.
birds
Yeah.
like robot chicken or whatever
Yeah.
coming into your house flying
It's
around.
good, man. I think in 5 years you'll be able to buy mushrooms at like a Walgreens.
So again, maybe this is contrarian point of view, but like I like mushrooms. I like there to be some sort of barrier. Like I don't trust.
Don't trust them in Doritos packages.
Yeah, exactly. Like I like there to be like a little bit of ceremony around it and a little more, I don't know.
Yeah, so like you don't want it to become like the CBD nowadays, where you walk into Safeway and they have a little glass cabinet full of CBD products at your local
Yeah, no,
supermarket.
I like the people who want to get them now can get them easily.
My pot still tastes better if I get it from a dealer.
Yeah, no, exactly. I feel like that. Like I don't trust the companies that much. I mean, whatever. I still, of course, buy from them. But,
Right. But it's funny because even cannabis nowadays, where everything's all packaged up, you can't see it, you can't touch it, you can't feel it.
Yeah.
Up until a couple years ago, you could walk into a cannabis club and they just had these big old cookie jars
Yeah.
going across the top, and you're like, oh, open that, let me smell that.
Yeah.
Oh, let me see that.
Yeah,
Smidge
yeah.
that. Okay.
And so I imagine in the edibles, it's just like the sweepings off the floor or something.
Right.
Like that.
It's almost the chicken lips and,
Yeah,
and,
right,
and
exactly.
beaks of
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
of hot dogs.
That said, I still eat the chicken nuggets and I still eat the carrots.
I know, I do too. I was just in McDonald's. I had a McChicken. My favorite McDonald's is 24th and Mission.
Oh yeah.
It's always packed full, and they actually bring the food to your table, which is really weird.
Really?
It's really weird. But yeah, it's weird that I order in English and I know Spanish.
Yeah.
I always feel weird, But yeah, like it is crazy back in the days where the way the weed is. One of my friends actually makes weed cookies that he sells them for $5 a piece, and he's got the whole recipe thing down. But yeah, it's crazy the how they make this and all the weed laws that have come into place. Like we gotta send Gavin Newsom. Actually, my cousin didn't realize that weed is not legal in America. I had to explain him states. Different states, He thought that weed was legal in America.
It was just a free for all,
Yeah.
every state, everywhere.
It's not like that, but
Although I was in Texas in July, and Texas, is one of these notoriously like really hard on.
Oh
weed.
yeah.
But there's apparently this loophole. It's super weird. Like hemp has a little THC in it, and hemp's not illegal in Texas, and so they have basically gummies that just do the trick, but they're just concentrated hemp THC. And
Okay.
there's like these stores that they don't sell any of the flower or anything. It's just gummies basically.
Well, and a lot of states now are going around it because they're making synthetics, and so they're making like Delta 9 products
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
or
yeah.
they're up to Delta
Oh
9.
yeah,
I
the
believe.
THCA and stuff.
Right. Well,
Delta
no, and that
9.
that still has THC. So
But
Delta 9 products are like synthetic THC.
There's actually a company in California that's suing a bunch of companies over that.
Over
Over
Delta 9 products?
the Delta 9
just, like,
products, yeah.
the chemical structure is just like one little bit different or something.
Yeah, it's like one molecule
Yeah,
off,
yeah.
just enough to not
Yeah,
get in trouble.
they're like, you don't got a license to sell weed, and you're selling weed anyway, and they're suing. They're suing a bunch of companies over that. Yeah.
There's interesting loopholes in DC as well, where like it's technically legal to like own weed or THC or whatever, but you can't sell it. But so what you do, you go to these stores and you buy a very expensive baggie that comes with a free gift inside, and that's like the loophole around.
Oh, is that
Yeah,
what it is?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I thought that was pretty clever.
Yeah, no, they're finding ways to work around
Yeah.
different laws and different things, and it's like, why don't we just make certain things legal? It
Yeah.
should be regulated. The government, hey government, if you're listening, which we know you are, you're really good at regulating things.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do that. At least, get the stuff legal and get it in place and get some of the safety precautions in
Yeah.
place.
And like, things haven't gone crazy in the states that have legalized it. They've had more tax revenue now, if anything. That could be the
Yeah.
argument.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I know somebody that's actually running for Congress in Nevada, and that they're saying that so much of the money that was supposed to be earmarked for schools and infrastructure for roads
Yeah.
and all the stuff that money from cannabis sales was supposed to go to, it doesn't. It just goes away.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
and it's
damn.
kind of like during 9/11 when I think Gray Davis of California
Oh, I forgot that.
he remember the license plate thing. He
Yeah.
was doing the 9/11. It was like a firefighter holding a child's hand on the license plate.
Yeah.
All that money was supposed to go to families that were affected by 9/11, and he ended up using it for something else.
Ah, damn. That's
Well, he
so
got it.
crass.
Right.
Yeah.
He got impeached, didn't he? Later on.
Yeah. Well, he got recalled, and then
Oh, with
Yeah,
by
that's right.
Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger.
we got Schwarzenegger out of it.
Yeah.
Dude, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't even get a trilogy out of Schwarzenegger. We just got a one-time run and gone.
That was funny. The documentary on Jewel. They showed all these celebrities using Jewel,
Oh yeah.
and
They
were-
should have used
they were
showed Jewel
I
using
know.
Jewel.
There was Schwarzenegger. There was Schwarzenegger with his Jewel and
Really?
stuff,
'Cause I thought
yeah.
he's a cigar guy, but maybe they
He's a cigar guy, yeah.
The last interview I saw with Schwarzenegger, he was in the middle of his kitchen, sitting at a kitchen table, and there was a donkey walking through his kitchen.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, this must be for some bit
Yeah.
that they're doing. No,
No.
he has a donkey walking through his
If you
kitchen.
just have
Yeah.
hundreds of millions of dollars, I guess you just run out of things.
And his kitchen looked like one of our kitchens.
Really?
Well, yeah, he when he was governor, he wouldn't even live in Sacramento. He would fly back to LA every day.
God.
He didn't want to be. Actually, I went down there. He had a huge tent, so he could smoke cigars.
Oh, I thought it was for his donkeys.
I bet his donkey smoked the cigars. Yeah. No, but one of the laws that they have is that the dispensaries can't give out anything for free. Like
Oh.
on your birthday, they don't give you shit for free. And that's one of the things they put in the law. I mean, who the hell would come up with that kind of law,
Yeah, yeah.
Except Gavin Newsom, I'm not hating on Gavin, but it's like, why have a liquor guy make up all these weed
Yeah,
laws,
yeah. Whatever. I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
All right, let's do something more positive,
All right.
something more of an upswing. How
All right.
about this? Matthew Perry passes
Oh
away.
my God. Yeah.
I'm sorry. So Matthew Perry passes away alone in his own hot tub.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
It is sad.
Yeah.
Did he make an Instagram video about his hot tub like an hour before?
Oh no, really?
Yeah, I think he made an Instagram video about his hot. It was really weird, But I'm quite sure. I'm not saying anything. But I mean, if you're drowning in a hot tub, you must be on drugs or drunk.
Well, in a hot tub though, I mean, whatever. I don't know what happened, to be honest, and whatever. I'm not a giant Matthew Perry fan, but like
Mm.
hot tub also like can fuck with your heart too, like
Right.
because of the hot water and
Right.
that sort of shit. Like,
And he's already had, so I know that he had all the, because he was just on tour last year and this year for his new book, his tell-all book.
oh,
Oh,
And
yeah.
it was basically, I forget, it was called Friends, Lovers, and That Big Bad Terrible Thing or something like that.
huh.
And the big bad terrible thing was the amount of times he was in rehab during the Friends years. I think it was like literally they had put him in like 20 times.
Really?
20 or 30 times, something crazy. And most of the time it was kept away from the public. And it was just like, oh, let's just get him to the next show. And he goes, you could tell the seasons where he was having problems with alcohol because he would be heavy. And then the seasons he was having problems with pills, he'd be all thin.
Yeah, wow.
I didn't watch Friends that much.
I think it's not funny.
I never.
I didn't have any friends like any of those friends.
Yeah,
They weren't very realistic for me.
I'm a Seinfeld, you know.
I don't know.
Seinfeld and
Yeah.
But I just thought it was strange that here this guy has gone through it. He just bared all. He was talking about on one of the interviews that I saw him on, it was like Stephen Colbert, that he was talking about he would go into different open houses for beautiful homes in Beverly Hills, and they'd be like, oh, isn't that, Matthew Perry from Friends? And they'd be like, oh, hi, and he'd be walking around looking at the house, and then he'd use the bathroom, and he'd go through the medicine cabinet.
That's brutal.
And then they would be like, oh, he wouldn't have stole the pills. No, that's, it's like,
Yeah. Dude.
He was taking up to 50 Vicodin in a day.
I
Even
think
one sounds like a lot.
And then he ended up perforating his stomach and messing his kidney up. And that's why when you said, oh, just being in the hot tub alone could create a problem if you have problems with your heart.
I just read all the warning things on the
Right, on the side, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you think if you have all those problems, you probably don't want to be doing. And then you hope that he didn't have any. Well, we won't find out. We won't find out for a couple weeks, right? Because they always do toxology tests when it's somebody that's had problems, and we won't find out for a couple weeks. But we hope that it's going to be one of those ones where he didn't relapse. He wasn't on drugs when he died. But although that would be even more tragic.
Yeah.
I like that. You just lost it. What was it, your hair tie?
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm going to get you after this show.
I think that the biggest problem is all these pharmaceuticals. I mean, a lot of these people probably wouldn't be on drugs. I think he might have broken his leg one day and ended up on Vicodin,
Yeah, he
And
had some injury. And
a lot of people get hooked on this shit. Like, this is incredible. Like, I've had foot surgery. I've had knee surgery. I don't remember being hopped up on Vicodin, We got to regulate this kind of stuff better,
Well, I think, whatever. I'm like, a weirdo in this sense, but I think people have like really been too afraid of like pain. And I think becoming to grips with your own pain is like a really powerful tool to have in your back pocket, so you don't have to reach out for that.
No
Right.
pain,
Sort
no
of
gain.
Zen-ish,
Yeah.
approach. I don't know.
Right, and the opioids we know are just bad news. I mean, I think it started off with him with Vicodin, and like you said, I believe it was an injury. Something happened to him, and then he was still at the end. He was stealing oxycodone and OxyContin, and those people are just starting to reap the
The slackers.
what was it? What's their
The
name?
slackers.
Oh, right, yeah.
For, for
Sackers,
Purdue.
Yeah.
From Purdue Pharmaceuticals.
Well, it does
Yeah.
sound like they're like kind of, they know it's addictive, and if you have addicted product and you want to make money,
Yeah.
like that's a bad incentive situation, Yeah.
Yeah, I
Even-
forget what town in the Midwest was actually the one that actually brought it to. There was like some town in the Midwest
like
where there was only like a couple thousand people that lived there, but every day they dispensed like tens of thousands of oxycodones to their public or their.
Oh yeah, there's some drug like places that they'll fill out anything. Like
Yeah.
in Florida, like the whole drug rehab thing is like a joke, Like a lot of the times the rehabs are so bad, they're just gonna give you the drugs anyway,
Really.
It's a joke. The whole rehab thing is like, it's messed up. But yeah, it's like You know, a lot of athletes are having trouble with that. High school athletes, they break their leg or something, and the next thing you know, they're hooked on Vicodin. They're doing heroin.
Yeah.
People that have never done drugs in their life, you know.
Yeah, they go from getting something prescribed by a doctor for something, and then our system is getting better about prescribing people stuff. I mean, 5 years ago, you could just keep getting prescriptions, and now you have to go in for blood tests and your analysis tests to make sure that you're not hooked and that you don't have problems.
Oh yeah.
So
They
things
want to
have
make
gotten
sure
a
you're
little
doing
better in
it
that way,
too.
but then it turns people to the street.
Yeah, right.
And
yeah.
now, if you look at what we have here at Grand Central, or
Totally. Yeah.
the people were on fentanyl. That's opioids,
Yeah.
and that stuff's cheaper than heroin. That's cheaper than buying any of these pills.
Yeah. And like I was thinking, the people you see on the street here, yeah, a lot of these people are like rock bottom, but there's tons of people doing this shit that actually have a house too,
Right.
Or like probably shitty housing, or they're not on the street, and so there's probably way more people than we even just see out here.
Well, and it's like I've left our building at night,
Yeah,
and
well,
I've talked about this, and
Yeah.
I'll leave here at night. And one night I was leaving here, and the building was still open. It was still during normal business hours, but it was late. The sun was setting, and I go out the front door, and I was about to go out the door, the glass doors, and I realized, oh, there's a lady there. Oh, it's a nurse, because she's in her lab coat and she's got her hair up, and
Yeah.
definitely a nurse or a doctor,
Yeah.
and she's just walking, and she's in the doorway, and then I realized she's smoking fentanyl off a tinfoil, and I'm like, okay, are you just trying to look the part, or are you literally just getting off your shift at
Yeah.
one of these
Yeah,
hospitals going, I just got to try it?
Well, yeah, I've known personally a nurse that has got hooked on pills because they have access to that shit.
They have access to it, but
Yeah.
then they're worried about losing their job,
Yeah,
and why not
yeah.
just go down? That's the other thing, is that the drug epidemic here in San Francisco is so bad that I think it's like $8 for a pack of cigarettes, but you can literally go out to the corner here and buy $5 worth of fentanyl. Don't have enough for a pack of cigarettes, but I can get me a rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, and fentanyl was used by hospitals too.
Yeah.
It's not like somebody just came up with it out of nowhere.
Right.
Yeah.
It's some pharmaceutical company.
And how many more of these things are out there that we don't know about that are the hospitals use, and all it takes is one person like, let's sell this, you know.
Dude, and I've also been on the street, yeah, because you see people that are just clearly fucked up for a long time,
Right.
but you see people who are on the first step towards that, and that's really sad too.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you've seen all walks of life out here. I've seen people that literally still have the straw of hay in
Yeah.
their hair from when they fell off the truck here. And I saw a kid that he had khakis and a plaid shirt, and he looked like literally just got here from Idaho or something.
Yeah.
And he pulls out this, and I feel like almost like a Bible thumper.
Yeah, right.
Because I want to walk up to people and go, don't fucking do it.
Yeah.
Don't die.
Yeah.
That's one thing. These people look so different. They're from every walk of life. They're every color, creed, whatever. The only thing they all have in common is they're all going to die.
Yeah.
And it looks like an episode of The Walking Dead
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh?
It really does.
out there.
The weird thing is I've seen people smoking fentanyl on BART. I don't know if it's fentanyl or meth. I can't tell the difference, but it's like, at least take it outside, you know.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. There's people smoking fentanyl on BART, yet a BART employee will walk up to me to give me a ticket for drinking my vitamin water.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, you can't do that. Look the F over there. See the guy smoking fentanyl?
Yeah.
Go to him first. Oh, no, I want to go home tonight. I want to be able to survive and make it home.
Yeah, right.
I know that the guy with the vitamin water, really? How do you know I'm not more crazy than that guy?
One time I was on BART, and I saw this one guy, he looked like he was homeless, and the cops walked in, and the homeless guy pointed at another guy who was drinking. He was undercover. He was an undercover cop dressed like he was homeless. But yeah, I got stopped for smoking weed, and I told the cop, what about the guy in the end? He looks like he's sleeping on he's like falling over. I'm like, that guy looks like he's on drugs. You know, why are you coming after me? You know? And all they did was they took me outside. they looked at my ID and they're like, "You do know you can't smoke." I said, "Yeah, I can't smoke." Okay, just don't do it again. I won't do it again.
Literally, somebody called me on drinking some, and I think it was literally my seltzer water. I think it was like my Safeway seltzer
Yeah,
water.
still,
in a
it's gonna
can.
clean the BART if you spill
Right.
it.
And if I spilled it, it would just clean
Yeah,
it, right?
yeah.
And so they said, you can get fined for that. And I go, and I pointed over, literally a couple rows over. Here's this guy that had passed out, had no shirt, no shoes, had pants on, but he was grubby, dirty. There was like, I want to say a whole bunch of wrappers. One was like his Haagen-Dazs ice cream container, and ice cream spilling on the floor, and the spoons up on the seat, and some other food thing that's whatever. And he's got his feet up on the windows of the BART train, and he's passed out.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, you can't drink that." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Turn around and look at that." Oh, I'm not to talk to him. Well, of course you're not to talk to him. You're to talk to the nice-looking guy
Yeah.
drinking his seltzer water.
On Friday, I was at Golden Boy Pizza, and
Local.
in front of me was Duat, and he had a see-through Starbucks cup with beer. Yeah, I'm like, why? What's up with the Starbucks?
Trying to hide it, trying to be cool and putting it in like.
He said he got a $500 fine at Huntington Beach for an open container.
Wow.
But I'm like, you're walking on with a see-through cup, of beer. It's like it's crazy. Yeah, like I didn't even know that they can stop you for just drinking something randomly on bar. That's crazy.
Yeah, they have no food and drink.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
that,
like their biggest rule.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm sorry, the BART police can shoot people, but you can't have that seltzer water.
Yeah. I mean, I smoke weed on bar, but it used to be easier when there was like 10 trains. Now there's like 6 trains, right? So everybody's more packed in. But yeah, I got stopped one time, and the guy's like, he looked at my ID and he's like, "You're from Wanna Creek." And
I would have said, yeah, they don't let us smoke in our town.
Yeah.
yeah, there's no smoking allowed in the whole town.
Really?
No, you're not even supposed to
Outdoors
smoke
on the-
in your own house.
Yeah, you're not allowed to. The law is that if you don't own your house, you're not really allowed to. In San Francisco, they passed a law saying you're not allowed to smoke cigarettes in your apartment, but you can smoke weed. So in San Francisco,
Which makes sense to me.
yeah.
Right?
But yeah, where I live, they don't like that shit at all. You don't see any, but you can buy cigarettes. But yeah, you don't see anybody like just walking around with a cigarette down there.
Well, it's crazy because even on the news last night, they were talking about they're going to stop all the street vending
Okay.
on
Mission. Yeah.
And I thought, okay, what about Market?
Yeah.
What about, any of these other streets? But yeah, Mission at 24, you saw that too.
Well,
on the
I
news.
live around there, so I like, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
But
because
I
that's
thought-
like literally a flea market.
Yeah,
and you can't even walk down the sidewalk.
Yeah. It's,
I used to buy tamales on the street, but then I'd stop. But I used to buy tamales on the street.
Yeah, so I've noticed that there's been less of our local fentanyl dealers on the street because I think they're picking them up more and more.
well, I think it's, this big thing coming in November, this APEC thing.
Yeah, they're doing it. So it's the APEC conference here, and Biden's supposed to be here. They've had Secret Service going all over by
I heard the
the
Chinese.
Fairmont and Top of the Mark and all
Yeah,
that
right,
stuff up
yeah.
on California
Yeah.
because that's where it's going to be.
Yeah, right.
They're trying to clean things up. But also, I think even prior, here we're at 7th Market in San Francisco, which is what they call mid-market, which is you're really in the heart of the city. When I say the heart of the city, I mean the middle of downtown. And so they've taken out UN Plaza.
Yeah.
That used to be what we call an open-air market. You could buy everything from drugs to stolen goods to just hang out and do your drugs.
Yeah.
Now they've closed that all off, and they're turning it into a skate park.
Is it going to be a
That seems
Ferris?
a little ridiculous to me, but
A
Like
little
a Ferris
ridiculous.
wheel? Or?
Well, it goes from a full pipe to a half pipe. So,
yeah, they're cutting in half. That's
yeah, they're cutting the usage in half there. And then they're taking the other space between the library and the Asian Art Museum.
Yeah.
and making it just for the what is it called,
Farmers market.
the farmers market and all the other weekly events that they
Mm.
have. They have other tents down there with approved vendors.
Uh-huh. Oh, I see.
And so that's great, but then start giving some of these people that are vending down on Mission Street some sort of, hey, we're going to give you a little space to sell your wares, and
Yeah.
we're going to let you have it for a month free so you can make your money, and then after that it's $10 a day or
Yeah,
something.
interesting,
Or
interesting.
I don't know. Something.
fucking
I
find
mean,
out.
if you
Yeah.
it would be nice to have all the cats in one place to corral them. You know, that's my thought.
Yeah.
Trying to stay on the cat theme.
Yeah, and
going back to the
Yeah.
Halloween.
These street vendors really aren't
Herding
selling
cats,
anything
though.
illegal, you know, like it's not like they're dealing drugs. They're regular people selling a bunch of junk. And it's packed
A
like
lot of it is junk, but a lot of it is literally. I've had people go, "Oh man, I see what size shoe you are. Hold on, I've got this pair for you. Let me get the security tag off first."
Yeah. It's a whole spectrum. Because I've seen like shitty old tools being sold, and I've seen like brand new,
Or
whatever.
just the little old Asian ladies selling like stuff out of their pantries.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can tell that it's like either stuff that was donated to them,
Yeah.
or stuff that they just don't want. It's like, oh, how much for the can of lentils?
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh my god, the scene is so depressing.
one of my mom's friends eats lentil every day. She's expecting to live to be 100.
I mean, lentils are super good.
And she's eating lentil, but lentil is just the worst.
What?
It
No,
tastes
you're
like
cooking them wrong. You just
it
gotta-
tastes like sawdust.
No.
oh, it sounds like we have a lentil bean cooker in the house.
Yeah, no, you gotta put some spices in that.
Oh, I don't fuck around with spices and stuff.
I like a bean, but I don't know. You don't make lentil stew, right?
Yeah.
You make lentil soup.
Lentil soup's
I
good.
don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
he's
fuck
like,
around. I don't like lentil at all. I never
All the
have.
more for me then.
I know. For my mom for her birthday, her friend, instead of taking her out to dinner, she had lentil for her.
Is that-
Okay, that's disappointing.
Is lentil a legume?
I think so.
Okay.
What is a legume? I don't know.
It's not a bean, because I was like, oh, it's a different kind of bean. It's like a chili bean or whatever.
I would-
No, it's a legume.
I went to a farmer's market, and this one out on towards Alamany, like it's a really big one, and they had raw peanuts that I've never had before. So I bought some raw peanuts. I was like, oh, these might be good. And they always say, oh, peanut isn't a nut, it's a legume. Dude,
Okay.
eating a raw peanut, it tastes just like a pea. Like they're
It
kind
has
of-
that consistency and softness.
Yeah.
Really?
And it blew my mind. Anyway, that's kind of a boring story, but like it was interesting.
Wow,
to me.
thank God we were sitting down for that
Yeah,
one. I'm
yeah.
telling you now.
Sorry.
But no, okay, so but what did you do? What did you end up doing?
Throwing them away.
You ended up throwing them away
Well,
because you
I was
ended up
gonna-
not doing anything.
I was gonna roast them, and then I got lazy, and then they got old, and then I threw them away. Sorry, I feel kind
I smoked the peanut shell one time. I read on the internet it gets you high.
right next to the banana peel.
Yeah, right.
You were
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Well, this was years ago before you could find weed anywhere. Yeah.
The
And I-
peanuts were plentiful, and like
Yeah, I said, fuck it. Let me try the peanut shell.
Who likes chocolate in this room? Do you
Oh,
all like
yeah.
chocolate?
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so I didn't realize how cocoa beans look when they first start getting them.
I don't know what they look.
They look gross. It's nasty.
Really?
And so I saw a thing last week tonight with John Oliver,
Uh-huh,
and his thing was about how child labor basically runs that industry, that there's only two different main places where cocoa plants are grown, which
Okay.
is like Guyana and the Ivory Coast or something. It's 2
Uh-huh.
states in Africa right there that are back to back. But then there's like 10,000 small farms or 20,000 small farms, but it's kind of like the Blood Diamond thing where there's nothing but kids doing it, right? And so I guess a lot of our manufacturers here in the US, everybody from Nestle and Hershey and Ferrero, and there's only like 4 or 5
Sure.
cocoa companies in the US, and each one of them goes, oh, well, we're going to make sure that no other children get hurt in this trade. And so they started all these different programs of saying, hey, you know, watchful eye of Nestle is going to be, making sure
sure.
that all of our chocolate is sustained the right way and no child labor. And so they had all these different places on their maps that showed where they got their chocolate farm from on these farms, and that there was no child labors. And so I guess they sent out different reporters to these different farms, and they're like, oh, okay, there's 2 young kids in the middle of the forest doing this right now with this. And then they caught another group of like 5 different people, and they're like, oh, well, yeah, we have no minors here. The youngest here is 21 to 25 years old. And they go, well, what about that kid right there? What about that person right there? And kid looks like he's like 12.
Damn.
Right? And all the other ones are like, they say they're 20, 25 years old, and they look like regular adults. But then there's this one that looks like 10, 13 years old or whatever. And they're like, what about him? How old is he? And they start talking back and forth in their native language, and they're laughing. And he goes, ha ha ha, I'm 21.
Damn.
And it's like, oh yeah, it's a big joke that.
Oh my god.
But it's almost like they're taken from their families to raise on these farms.
Just for our shitty Hershey
Chocolate.
Yeah.
But how many people really feel that bad? Like, if you told them, hey, your favorite chocolate is picked by a bunch of kids, they're like, well,
Rocher,
it's
man.
not like they're not making iPhones. Yeah, they're just picking chocolate beans. Like,
Yeah.
how many people really feel that bad about it? though?
I don't know, but I feel bad about it.
I never even thought about it, but I'm from, that's the thing about it. It's a new thing. It's called third world perspective. Like, unless you've been in the third world, you don't realize all that shit is hella common,
It
like,
doesn't make it good though.
No,
doesn't make it good,
It
yeah.
doesn't make it good at all. And the worst thing is, the more it happens, the more commonplace it is, and the more that it doesn't even doesn't even create a ripple in the water.
Out in Oakland, I spent some time out there, and there's a billboard. It's like one of these PETA, people for ethical treatment of animals,
Right.
poster, and it's about, I don't know, like coconuts or something. And apparently, according to this billboard, it's mostly a comical billboard, but it has this picture of some like monkey, and it's like, you don't want this guy picking your coconuts, and apparently they have monkeys picking coconuts for sale or something. According to
that's
the
funny.
billboard, it's just a comical billboard, but it's supposed to be all sad. But it's just like, I don't give a like. The monkeys probably had fun picking the coconuts,
Yeah,
unless
until
it's
you
really
take them,
brutal.
and then
like-
you take it away from them.
yeah, I know. They probably get some.
They're like, oh, this is great. I finally got one. Oh, you take
It's
it away
mostly
from
just
me.
absurd. I don't know.
It's like, where the Barbary Coast dispensary is? On the other side, there's another dispensary, and there's like a sweatshop right there.
Really?
And I used to go to this dispensary, and I would walk by, and I was always amazed to see that there's actually some sweatshop in the middle of San Francisco.
I mean, you hear about this sort of stuff too with the sort of, I can't remember exactly what it is. Some sort of like nail salon places where they're like
Yeah.
importing people to do this sort of shit. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is this?
So I was gonna try to find to see if we can find any of that, what it looks like, but
Oh, those are the pods. With the...
this part.
Oh, you mean that's the chocolate?
So this is how they make the chocolate. So it's
Oh,
these
that is
things.
weird looking.
That is weird.
It's not what you thought it would be.
Yeah, no, I thought it'd be just little like dusty brown nuts or something.
I mean,
Right, but it's not. Yeah, you thought it was, but that's after they've been.
Oh, I guess
So-
roasted or something.
Yeah, so like they literally, and I'll go back to what these look like. So these are the plants, and they're right between you guys right now. But yeah, literally, they just look like some sort of tropical fruit that they open up, and there's this
Yeah,
nasty.
weird.
And actually, that looks really white and really pretty on the inside.
Yeah,
the other
yeah.
ones look like, I hate to say it, look like almost like maggots or something.
Oh,
Look at that.
wow. Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm like,
like slimy.
right, and nasty. And so you're thinking, okay, that's gross. And so,
At Starbucks, I used to order some white chocolate drink, and they told me white chocolate is hard to get these days. And I'm like, isn't it just chocolate with a bunch of milk? Wouldn't that? I mean, white chocolate it's like a separate thing altogether. It's weird, yeah. Like things you never think about, like there's a white chocolate shortage and stuff.
Can you try pulling up the PETA monkey harvesting? I don't know.
yes, I can.
Yeah.
If it will let me.
Oh well, I mean, no.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
If it will let me.
Now, I remember in Venezuela, they used to have a bunch of coconuts, and there would be people with machetes, and some people would have missing fingers because
Damn.
they fucked up. They cut off their finger, cutting out the coconuts and stuff. Yeah.
God. Yeah,
So
I guess
kinda-
my life is fine.
What kind of weird things in the Mission are? What restaurants are you into in the Mission? Is there a bar you hang out at down
I really
there?
love the Royal Cuckoo. That one's chill.
Oh yeah, the Royal Cuckoo. Yeah.
But there's this one called I think it's just called the bar on Dolores. It's kind of a sports bar.
I think they do comedy there once in a while.
They have I've seen music there. It's just one place that I don't feel like I'm not cool enough to be in. You know.
Oh, the
Just
bar
like-
in Dolores.
Yeah, just like chill, normal people. Some sports going on. Oh yeah, is this okay? Maybe this is more than.
Do they got a
Yeah.
smoking area? I like that bar on 18th. What is it called? The one on 18th and Mission?
18th Mission?
Is it 19th and Mission?
Oh, Sycamore.
The Sycamore.
yeah,
Yeah,
that one's
they,
chill. I really like Sycamore.
yeah, I like. Yeah, they got a smoking area in the
Yeah,
back and
yeah.
stuff. That one I really like and stuff.
Yeah.
They got. I think they got like. I don't know. On Monday nights they got trivia night.
Oh
but
really? Yeah.
I,
I find trivia like really stressful. Oh, maybe this is.
is that the monkey?
Is this what you want to see? Is this it?
Well, I thought it was like a billboard. I didn't know the actual situation.
What are they
on the
doing
ground.
to the monkey? They're like
All
choking
right.
up.
So
the
let's
monkey.
see here. Maybe you can describe. I don't know.
I mean, it's not super important. It's like,
I didn't thought. No, it's okay. That's what we do here.
This
We
is
just-
Bob
we
the
just grab
monkey,
the
and
whole thing.
They
Yeah.
got a rope around his neck, and
Yeah.
That ain't cool.
and now they're trying to get him to go up and get the coconuts and stuff.
Let me see here. Let me
That is
see here.
crazy. You don't see that on Survivor or somebody with
Yeah,
a monkey and stuff.
All right. So here's the video.
One of countless monkeys trapped in Thailand's coconut industry. PETA Asia investigators have uncovered shocking abuse of monkeys on farms in Thailand that produce coconuts for export around the world to be used to make coconut milk, yogurt, oil, and other products.
Wow, I had no idea.
As you watch this, enslaved monkeys are suffering.
Damn.
This is the dark side of Thailand's coconut
Well, and you wonder
industry.
why these monkeys are.
Monkeys like
dangerous, too.
Kulap are abducted from their homes in nature, where they live in large social groups. They're kept chained and isolated on barren, dirty farms with very little opportunity to interact with other monkeys. Many go insane. These intelligent, social animals are treated like coconut picking machines.
If they were fangless.
One looks like
Yeah,
he's
you would have
gonna
worked
get
better too if we pulled your
Their
teeth,
lives
sir.
are
Yeah.
Damn.
and there's no retirement. If you see
Wow,
a product
in the
made
cages,
of Thai
in the
coconut, such as
ring.
coconut milk, oil, or yogurt,
Is it really that
Please.
hard to like?
leave it on the shelf to avoid
Have a-
supporting this life
Have a
of
machine that
misery.
Yeah.
picks them,
Yeah.
Thank you.
right? You know, you would think something like that.
Yeah.
It's like
This is
I don't get it. You know, people are just cruel.
Yeah.
And
You don't need a machine. You just need some guy to go up there.
Yeah.
the funny thing is it probably cost them more to. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you could come to the streets of San Francisco like it was like a parking lot at a Home Depot
Yeah. Yeah.
and go, hey, who wants to go pick me some coconuts? I'll
We'll
hook
ship
you
you to
up."
Thailand. You get to hang out in Thailand.
Yeah, they've got plenty of opium there.
Yeah, right.
I've had friends go to Thailand, but I never understood
They
why.
ended up picking up.
I know. Why
the
would you go to
coconut exchange
Thailand?
program. That would be good.
Why would you go to Thailand? Like, Thailand sounds like a miserable ass place.
The food though.
Apparently,
food?
it's beautiful.
It's spicy. The Thai food is really spicy, isn't it?
I like the spicy stuff.
I like
Oh,
Thai
yeah.
food too. I like Thai food.
I like
Thai
the
food's good.
I like the chicken wings of the Thai restaurants.
Yeah.
That's how much of a Thai food aficionado I
You
am.
go for the wings.
Got the chicken
Yeah, the
wings and
cheeseburger, yeah.
the egg rolls, yeah. Because we used to do comedy. What's that place called? There's a bunch of Thai restaurants down there, like near Geary and Third or something.
Okay.
In that area. Yeah, and I remember the chicken wings were really good, but yeah, I couldn't deal. I can't deal with spicy foods and stuff.
Well, you know
We're
what?
seeing that video as long as they're not monkey wings.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
I would. Well,
You would try a monkey wing?
I feel like I would. I feel like I would.
I don't know. I think people do eat monkey. I mean,
Vita, Brooks
Yeah,
and Rats
sorry, yeah,
for your
right.
email is. Jeez.
I think it's okay to eat the monkey, but not have the monkey work for you.
Yeah, yeah.
But if
I'll
you're gonna
slaughter
eat
them.
the monkey, if you're gonna eat the monkey,
I think that
Food is
monkey
food.
look alone is like, don't do it to me.
Yeah. It's like,
Food is
hey,
food, right?
fuck?
Food is food, you know.
Jeez.
One thing interesting I found out recently about the Thai, like, there's Thai restaurants just everywhere.
Right.
And they're like subsidized by the Thai government.
Oh,
like,
really?
That's like they're sort of like soft power trying to get people to like Thailand. I don't know really. how
And
that's-
it's their way of doing what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, it's kind of like
like
it's,
PR for
yeah, they're
Thailand.
PR for Thailand.
Yeah, yeah. Which I don't see how that's supposed to work. I eat Thai food all the time. I never feel like going to Thailand.
Do they help them partially fund their businesses?
Yeah,
here?
yeah. You should
Really?
look. You should, it's
That's a
apparently,
good
like,
idea,
a big
yeah.
thing. Yeah. That's why every little tiny small town, like with no Thai people.
So
have that.
one of my favorite Thai places in the city is House of Thai.
I don't know if
up
it's
in
all
the
of them.
Tenderloin,
Oh
Maybe it's
yeah.
all of them. Maybe it's not all of them. I don't know.
but all
yeah.
I know is that food's bomb.
Yeah, I do love.
I love a good Thai food, and now at my age currently, it's all about the quality than the quantity. It used to be, how much? Oh, those are small portions.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good now.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, 100%.
I had that, and what was it? The Tenderloin's got some really good
They
food.
do,
So
they do.
so that Thai House of Thai up there is like almost world famous. Just had some really great soul food.
Huh.
Brenda's soul
Oh.
food.
That place is so good,
I had $12 worth of chicken, and it was delicious.
dude. That place is incredible. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've only been there once.
Where's
but
that at?
that's on Polk Street at Golden Gate.
Something like that. Yeah.
But that's heart of the Tenderloin too, and so it's like people are like, if you could only just bring your date in an Uber and like
Yeah.
blindfold them, and then you get them to the door and get them in, they'd be
Yeah.
like, "This is the greatest restaurant." And it's
yeah.
like I gotta blindfold you on the way out too. But yeah, I mean it's a rough neighborhood, but some of the best food I've ever had.
Yeah. Yeah, you should check it out if you haven't had it.
I went to a Jamaican restaurant in Oakland.
Oh, in Oakland.
Yeah, in Oakland. I didn't realize that Jamaican food is expensive, man. I don't know what's up with these Jamaicans.
It was lots of chicken. Like the
Yeah, it was
chicken.
chicken. I had some patty, like some patty sandwich thing.
Oh yeah, they had that's like a sort
Yeah.
of empanada like thing or
Oh
something.
yeah, the empanadas in Chile were really damn good and stuff.
See, now we're starting to talk about food
Oh.
that's already that close.
You know, the weird thing is that there's Peruvian restaurants all over the place, but there's no Chilean or Argentinian restaurants.
Really?
But Peruvian food is known all over the world, and I think mainly because people go there for Machu Picchu. Yeah.
Right.
I got off the plane in Lima. I went to another plane, and I almost stayed. I saw a big picture of Machu Picchu. I'm like, why the hell am I not here?
Right. So what is a traditional Chilean dish?
Well, we got empanadas. We got churrasco. We got
What's that?
churrasco's like a sandwich.
Okay.
There's you can get fried empanadas with cheese. Those are the best, the fried ones. Pastel de choclo, but we were not really known for our food. Oh, the hot dogs are really damn good.
Hot
And
dogs.
the hot dogs are really good. They got avocado. They got big ass hot dogs, but they put a lot of shit on it.
I don't like avocado, but man, avocado on my hot dog. That's interesting.
Yeah, you should try
I'll
that
try
one. You should try that, you know.
Is there hot dogs like our hot dogs? They taste like a hot dog?
Yeah, but they're better. Like they're better
They're
quality.
better.
The hot dogs here are weak. Like they don't put anything on there. You
Well,
know?
yeah, hot dogs around here. It seems like it's either like the worst meat ever, or it's like a fancy sausage.
Yeah.
Like there's no in between, really. I guess
Yeah.
maybe there is. I'll take that back.
The only thing I'll get the dogs from the corner here where they have the carts.
Oh,
the-
yeah, with the wrapped
The
in the
onions,
bacon.
Yeah,
the
the
bacon wrapped
bacon.
hot dogs with
Yeah.
the chilies and the onions.
I smell
and-
those onions and so good smelling.
Oh, it smells, and then that's how they lure you in. And
Yeah.
then it used to be, you get one with like everything on it for
Yeah.
$5.
Yeah.
Now it's like one with everything on it for 15.
What the fuck?
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
The price
Right?
is
At
going
that
up.
point, aren't
That's
you
not
going to
worth
get?
it. Yeah, I'm gonna get some.
Inflation's
I'm gonna
going
go to
up.
Brenda's and go
Yeah,
get
right. Yeah, yeah.
chicken or something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
I, I was a bad American. I actually went to McDonald's in Chile just to see if it was better or
We got
worse.
curiosity.
Yeah, I went to KFC, but McDonald's and KFC are terrible everywhere. But I learned that the weirdest American restaurant, they had Chuck E. Cheese down there. They had Chuck E. Cheese. I was telling
Or like
everybody.
Carlos cheese or Carlos
Yeah.
queso or something.
Yeah, I was telling everybody we're having a party at Chuck E. Cheese. This is crazy.
Oh my gosh! So certain things I just don't get. So like I understand why a lot of the Chuck E. Cheeses here in the United States went under because their pizza sucks.
Really, I never went. I never.
Oh yeah. So like the only thing good about Chuck E. Cheese is it's a place for your kids.
We were there like 10 years ago. Remember Joey Bragg?
Oh yeah, I remember Joey Bragg.
We took him to Chuck E. Cheese, and that guy's hilarious. Yeah, I haven't been
Joey
at
Bragg is a comedian. Started out in the San Francisco scene as a 11 or 12-year-old doing stand-up. Within a year,
Yeah.
he opened up at the Hollywood Bowl for Tim Allen.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, was
And
that
so
good or was it
everybody
like-
in San Francisco is like, "Are you kidding me?" And so then he became a Disney kid, and then now he's even. I think the last thing I saw him was he was on a Channel 7 show with Kira Sedgwick
Damn.
as his.
Wait,
as
so he
her
was
son.
actually good. He wasn't like a gimmick or anything.
Right.
All right. Wow. What's his
So,
name again?
Joey Bragg.
Oh.
He is a Disney kid. You always wonder, like, what the hell happened to you? Like with the rest of the Disney kids.
Yeah, I know. They
yeah.
just fuck up those kids.
I know, it's bad, but yeah, like, somebody told me he didn't even write his own jokes. His dad wrote all that stuff. You know?
Well, it makes sense because his dad was kind of cool. I remember I think his dad's like my age. And so I remember when I interviewed him for my podcast at the other studio, his dad had to come because, we were all partiers and in our, at that time I was in my 40s, but these guys are all partiers in comics, and here's this young 11, 12-year-old kid that
Yeah.
you don't want to let into a studio with a whole bunch of partiers.
Yeah, right.
And so Dad was there, but Dad seemed really cool and with it, and I could see how maybe Dad was helping him with his material. Look at Jim Gaffigan, his wife and him write it.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Really?
I
I didn't know. I didn't know that.
That's his co-writer.
He's on tour with Jerry Seinfeld right now, Jerry Gaffigan.
Isn't it Jim Gaffigan, Jerry Seinfeld, and there's another third person.
Oh, it's not me.
Yeah. It's not you? Oh, damn. I was hoping I'd get some VIP
Not me.
passes and stuff.
I never understood those big concert tours like at the Chase Center where the Warriors play. Like,
It doesn't seem conducive to comedy.
I know, it's like, how are you supposed to listen to comedy when, I mean, you can barely see a concert in those places. The Warriors games are pretty good. I mean, that arena is pretty nice, but seeing like Adam Sandler there is like, it's kind of weird, you
One of
know?
the biggest venues I've ever seen, I saw a comedy show at Shoreline. It was whatever oddball comedy with all those people.
yeah.
Louis C.K. and George Lopez and stuff. But I think that was pretty big because you're looking at literally just a little figure at the back of the.
Yeah.
You're looking at the television monitors. Is what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, you might as well be at home.
Right, and then I can see if you're at a rock concert or you're at a musical concert and you can't see them because you can still hear them.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, for me, the comedy is like half the facial, expression or the body language and stuff.
One of the coolest concerts I went to was like Aerosmith, and I was on the lawn because hey, you just want to be there to listen to the music, right? And then like halfway through the show, they go, "Hey, we're gonna do a little road break. We'll be right back."
Mm-hmm.
And literally, like less than 5 minutes later, they popped up in the middle of the grass.
No way.
And I was like, okay, here's a band that knows
Yeah.
what the hell's going
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Literally plays to the cheap seat.
Hell
My
yeah.
my first concert was at Shoreline. I went to see Debbie Gibson when I was in
Debbie
cute.
Gibson. Oh
I had
my
third
gosh.
row. I had the
Who
best.
opened up for Debbie Gibson? Tiffany? I mean,
Yeah.
what the heck's going
Actually,
on there?
I worked at Great America at the time, and I had tickets for Tiffany. And Tiffany was in New Kids on the Block was opening up for Tiffany, and halfway through they switched places,
Damn.
and I
Oh,
sold
because the one became more popular
Wow.
than the other?
I sold those tickets, but I always regret it. I could have seen New Kids on the Block on their first tour, but I sold those tickets to a friend of mine, you know. And I think she sold it to some lose their dad who brought their daughter. Like, but yeah, I saw the
Or
bang.
demographic.
Yeah, I
that's
saw the
appropriate.
Bengals at Great America.
There was a lot of those
Yeah.
bands in the Great America. So now, have you ever been to a show that was canceled and you're like, oh?
Nah.
So the only show I was ever, and I had like second or third row seats, and it was in Santa Cruz. And the reason it was canceled is because of whose show it was. Sam Kinison.
Oh, funny.
Sam Kinison died the
Damn.
weekend before we were supposed to see him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was coming from Vegas, and that's when he got hit by a driver.
That's how it died, huh? Interesting.
Did you show up to the concert anyway?
No, it's funny because I literally was gonna keep my ticket, but it was like, oh, Bass tickets. At that time, it was Bass and Ticketmaster or whatever. So Bass tickets, if you wanted your money, which I think at that time it was like a $50 ticket, and that was like unheard
yeah.
of.
$50 for Sam Kinison?
Back in the
Really?
80s.
Damn,
Died of his,
that is crazy.
Yeah, and so that was the only concert I can think of that was canceled.
Yeah, Sam Kinison really didn't mature well, you know, like he's not as big as the other comedians and stuff. But yeah, after watching they did what's that TV show? That TV show on I forgot what the Dark Side of Comedy or whatever, and they did Robin Williams, and they did the next week they did Sam McKinnison, and he was getting protested by the AIDS patients, and now I feel like, what? Why did I like this guy? He's getting protested by the AIDS patients.
Oh yeah, a lot of those people we were just talking about this
Yeah.
prior to the show today is that so many of my favorite comedians from even 15 years ago that are no longer with us.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would have been able to do their act.
Yeah.
I mean, I just watched a Ralphie May show, and I was like, oh, this is hilarious, but I felt like it was a guilty pleasure because I shouldn't be laughing at this. If I was in a room with other people, they'd be like, oh, you shouldn't be laughing at that.
Yeah,
Well,
interesting. Yeah.
but it's funny. But then there was other comedians that passed that could have easily made the transition. You just wonder how they would have done it. People like George Carlin.
yeah.
George
yeah.
Carlin always seems like he could always navigate the waters and get in and out of different things.
Yeah.
But some of these guys with some of their shock and awe stuff, like I was just listening to Daniel Tosh. That's why we don't see Daniel Tosh. He did so much racist kind of stuff or sexist stuff or homophobic
He had a
stuff.
TV show on for a while, didn't he?
Yeah, he had for years.
That was like 3 years ago he was on TV, yeah.
Yeah, and now you don't see him at all because half of that stuff was it wouldn't bode very well nowadays.
I was reading about Neil Brennan's brother. I guess he had a brother that wrote on SNL, and he started making fun of Perry because he died in a hot tub. He went after him he was laughing at him on Twitter. Like, I didn't even know Neil Brennan had a brother. Like,
Neither did I. Did they let him go or what did they do?
well, no, he was on years ago at SNL. He was a writer years ago. He's not a writer now,
okay.
but like they don't even talk. But it's like, yeah, they catch these people once in a while. It's like,
What do
you
you mean
know,
Gilbert Gottfried with the Affleck thing?
oh yeah, even Ralphie May got in trouble. Some Indian tribe went after him.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah, because he was making fun of Indian tribes and yeah, they protested him because he had a show at some Indian casino and they got mad at him and shit.
I'm
Yeah.
curious what you guys think about because I'm just a consumer of this sort of stuff, and like I don't know, like I think like dark black comedy, and it's like is really like important and like
is
good,
needed.
and like even if it upsets people, like
I think it should be absurd and that it should be pushed to the forefront and it's
like if it's
almost
funny.
it's only one of the only places where a middle-aged white guy can talk about race.
yeah. And I think like as long as it's funny, like if it's
It has to be funny. So
Yeah.
first and foremost, has to be funny.
yeah.
Two, I like things that are funny but that also make you think.
Yeah. So,
And so I still think that stand-up comedy is one of the most truest art forms, and that if we start really censoring it, I think Brad Williams said it best. You have two choices when you're in a comedy club: either ha ha or no ha ha.
yeah, right.
Otherwise, you shouldn't be offended by something.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be. This is a safe space where people should be able to say things. You shouldn't be able to say, well, here you go. Even saying hateful things. It's not good to make sex slurs or racial slurs, but it's okay if it's Trump
Yeah.
or
yeah,
Biden
Yeah, right. Yeah,
or truth to power.
yeah.
I was on a podcast last night and I jokingly said like, just donate my money to like the Hamas comedians, you know. And the guy muted me right away. He muted me right away.
Yeah, because sometimes it's not just oh, these people are doing something bad. Like it's a way to coerce like
Yeah.
silence on
Yeah.
topics that
Yeah.
people like the powers that be don't want discussed, you know. And so
Yeah.
it's not obvious to me that every time somebody gets canceled that it's like that they fucked up, rather they may be just being coerced into,
Well, I
like,
made a
silence.
joke about Trump the other day,
Yeah.
and I said, "Oh, he called it hummus
Uh-huh.
instead of Hamas."
Yeah.
And somebody got mad at that, and I thought, okay, we got to be able to joke about something.
Yeah,
And we know that people are losing their lives and being,
Yeah.
you know, but
You know
But
when
that's harmless. I mean, that's
Yeah.
Trump surely likes food.
and he
Like,
and he literally said hummus.
okay.
when I got to Chile, I was watching BBC, and I swear there were protests all over Israel before that war even
Oh,
started.
sure, yeah, there was.
There was a lot of people are saying that they did it on purpose because that guy Netanyahu was in trouble and he needed some kind of war because the own military was like starting to protest against him and stuff. And yeah, and stuff like that. It's like crazy. You can't, and it depends. It's like everybody has to take a side these days. But like, well, there's nothing wrong with doing some Hamas jokes. Like.
I think it's funny.
I think
it's good. There's this guy I really like. He's not stand up. He's just on Twitter. It's Sridhar Ramesh, I believe his name is, and he does the most bleak, dark, black humor.
Right.
It's often like with literally like everybody's the target. And,
Right.
And you get people in his replies that just don't get his shtick, you know.
Right.
But if you do, it's just like so good, and it's also like almost righteous, even though it can be really crass and mean a lot of the time.
But it's almost life affirming. It's like, okay, that's kind of what happens.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And if you're turning a blind eye to it, it's still going to happen. It's still happening around you, and you might as well try to either embrace it or ridicule it or look at it for how absurd it is.
Totally.
I mean, it used to be that comedians were supposed to be irrelevant and not make any sense, and it was supposed to be out of left field, and that kind of comedy was really fun. Now it's like people kind of take offense to certain things.
Yeah.
And you have to have a social conscious. This is not public speaking, folks.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
This is just for levity. This is to make you laugh.
Yeah, I remember one Halloween when I was a kid, I was dressed up as a stormtrooper from Star Wars. And years later, I got upset because I realized my dad didn't see me as a leader. He didn't tell me I should have been Darth Vader. Like, why are you like a stormtrooper and stuff? But yeah, last night I started going off on what's up with these women who use Halloween to dress up slutty. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
And I don't really care women dress up slutty for Halloween, but I learned this thing, like if you act angry enough to stupid shit, people laugh. But you really gotta get angry. Like, these women, why are you ruining Halloween for the kids? Dress up like a slut, man. Wear some panties, goddammit. Like don't dress up as a cheerleader. You never been a cheerleader. What the hell's your problem? Stuff like that. It's just crazy. But people really get upset over that. Like, what are you saying? What are you talking about?
You got a scary Betty Boop shirt on.
And I should take that out.
You like my Betty Boop
I really
shirt?
do.
Yeah,
That's a throwback.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I watched some of those the old animations on YouTube or whatever. I watched
Right.
them. They're trippy. They're like kind of fun.
I like Betty Boop. She was a big time star. Back before they had anything real you could look at.
Yeah, that was the first pinup cartoon.
She was hot. Betty Boop is hot.
Yeah,
know?
but a little baby voice with a gargantuan
I
head.
know.
Yeah.
I'm surprised nobody's ever tried to make a movie about her. You know.
That's true. Oh no, you just started something.
Yeah, it's gonna happen now.
Yeah, because they keep, what is it, reinventing stuff and revamping
Yeah,
stuff. And it's
yeah.
like, really?
I think
no,
the
I could totally buy that.
I think the problem is like because of the royalties. Like I don't know who owns Betty Boop, but I guess if something's older than 75
Yeah, it's
years,
gonna be public domain.
you anybody can do it. But yeah, I'm surprised nobody's ever tried to. I got this at D&D discounts. D&D.
D&D discounts.
I mean, it's like
Dungeons and Dragons.
it's like a Ross, but it's cheaper Ross.
Oh,
DD.
okay. Oh,
DD
I've seen
discount.
that place. Yeah, yeah.
It's like a cheaper Ross.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's part of the Ross company.
Uh-huh.
There's nothing. I think you got to go to Oakland. I go to one at I think Eastmont Mall, which is not really a mall. They turned this mall into a police station. You know.
So if you wouldn't have bought that shirt, it would have been worn by third
right.
world monkey gathering
Oh, no.
coconuts
Yeah,
out of a
right.
tree.
Yeah.
The weird thing is, I think I think it was a 2X, but I think it might be a woman's shirt, but it was in the man's aisle because the neck is really tight.
Oh, fun.
I'm thinking like, yeah, but I really like Betty Boop, you know.
Well, a 2X in America is like a
Right.
10X in some other countries.
Yeah, I didn't even bother looking for clothing. Like when I was in Chile, I'm like, there's nothing my size. These people are hella skinny down there. Like, there's like fat people now, you know, because
Because
they,
Dunkin' Donuts.
yeah, thank God for American food, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing I tell people when they go to a third world, stay near American restaurants. That's where it's safe. You know, make sure your hotel is near an American restaurant because that's where all the money is and it's security. But yeah, you know, third world is different. It took like 5 minutes for the water to get hot in the shower, you know. 5 minutes, you know.
It
Took
sounds
a
like my
while.
house.
Yeah.
It took a
So
while.
we're at that point. So what do you got going on next week? Oh, well, and by the way, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I'm glad I did. This was super fun.
All right,
This is
cool. Do you
great.
have anything to shout out? I know that you're just kind of doing what you do, but do you have anything to shout out or anything we should be looking at?
Are you on Instagram at all?
I'm
Or?
not on any of that stuff. I'm kind of a weirdo. Yeah, I guess my shout out is go to rhyme.ai and check out some voices if you want to hear some.
And that's spelled RHIME.
No, it's actually RIME.ai. Yeah, RIME.
Let me hear your voices.
You go to RIME.ai.
Let me hear some of your. Can you do accents? Like,
No,
I
that's-
don't-
hello, how you doing, man?
No, what they do is though, like they actually did a conversation with me and another person, and they took my stuff and put it in their database.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
We just have a bunch of text-to-speech voices. We don't use anyone's real voice, so we don't use Paul's real voice or Paul's voice at all. He's just like kind of in the mix.
His voice is kind of scary. I understand.
I wish we could do it because it's a great voice.
Yeah.
But,
It is kind of like a radio voice. It's,
yeah.
yeah, I wish I had a studio or something.
So how long has your studio been around, like the other one?
A year, I guess.
Oh yeah. Is it like this or?
No, ours is rinky. Ours is telephone booths basically.
Literally 2 side-by-side soundproof booths.
Yeah.
It looks like you're on a talk show where they put you in a booth where they don't want you to hear what's going on. In the
Yeah.
other
Oh
part.
yeah. Oh
I can
okay.
show it to you after.
Yeah. So tell us, you know what you got going on next week, or you don't know?
Well, I'm gonna be at Kel's this Friday
Okay.
in North Beach. I like to call it the North Bitch Show. I'm the North Bitch, and I don't know what I got on next Monday. It's November, so I think I'm gonna have somebody who raises turkeys, you know, for Thanksgiving.
And you don't mean your mother.
My
Okay,
mom,
cool. I gotcha.
my mom doesn't raise turkeys.
Oh
She,
come on. Now.
she raises chickens, not turkey. There's actually wild turkeys where I live, but there's a bunch of wild turkeys. Yeah. You got any shows coming up?
Do I have any shows coming up? No, but I just had one cancel, and I hope to have another one really soon. But definitely check out everything we do here at edgestudiosonline.com, on Facebook, YouTube, and the universe, the interweb.
Oh yeah, and I just wanna, like I said, it's Halloween, so make sure that your candy doesn't have weed in it.
And if it does, give it to Chris.
I'll test it out for you. Test all your candy. Make sure, don't watch out for the weed candy and stuff. The weed man.
All right.
You
Till
like
next week.
I'm JunkYard Rat. See you next week from Edge Studios, from the fentanyl capital of the world.